Welcome back to CN2 Sports. Teddy Bridgewater, Heisman Trophy winner. How do you like the sound of that? Well, according to professional handicapper Danny Sheridan from USA Today, Bridgewater is now the favorite to take home the trophy. Sheridan lists Bridgewater as a 6-1 favorite to bring home college football's most prestigious award. Jadeveon Clowney, number 2 on that list at 7-1. I'm no surprise that Johnny Manziel didn't make this list. Sheridan has him at even money if he's even invited to the ceremony. Sheridan also goes on to say that Louisville will lose its season finale against Cincinnati and miss out on the BCS championship game, which will make the people in the South, where he is popular, that Danny Sheridan, very happy. But Thomas Beisner joins me in studio now to talk about this. You don't really even want to be the favorite for the Heisman Trophy, I don't think, because everybody picks you apart. But could you say today that you think Teddy Bridgewater is the favorite?
I think of those, specifically those three, Manziel, Clowney, and Bridgewater, I think he is the favorite. If I had to bet money, I'd bet the field, because that seems to be the story. Everyone goes after the guy. He's taking his team from nowhere, and in the cool, trendy story. I think Bridgewater is a long shot in that he has to do a lot more, because the same people that I don't think will pick Manziel because of his off-field, they're old guys voting for this award that won't like what Manziel has done off the field. It'll be the same old guys saying, well, Teddy Bridgewater played UConn or he played Cincinnati. They're going to pick him apart. So he's going to have a phenomenal season.
Almost mythical numbers.
Exactly.
I think
that, and they're going to have to blow people out. And it looks like they're going to be, in a lot of games, at least in a position to maybe sit him a little bit. And then do you do it? That's the question.
It's almost like a horse race. You don't want to be out for the early lead. You want to come off the pace in this, because once you jump to the front of the Heisman race, people look for reasons not to give it to you. Whereas Manziel, he was Mr. Feel-Good last year. They were trying to find a way to give it to him. So Teddy, I'll be interested to see after week 1 who's the Heisman Trophy, front runner.
I think if Teddy Bridgewater played at Michigan or Notre Dame, having the team they have now, if the entire Louisville program was called Michigan, called Notre Dame, and we're playing a schedule like that, everyone would say, no doubt, 100%, he's the favorite for the Heisman. But there's so much in that schedule, so much in the perception, even after beating Florida, the perception of that program, the conference they're in, that they're going to have to overcome. But I do think of those three, Manziel, Clowney, and Bridgewater, I'd pick Bridgewater for the best shot to win the Heisman.
Sheridan has Manziel at even money to be invited to the ceremony. Which side of that, since it's an even money wager, which side of that would you be on? That he makes the ceremony or doesn't make the ceremony?
I'm going to say he doesn't make the ceremony, because I still wonder if he's going to play in all the football games this season. Even if he misses 1, he misses 2. The 2 games you miss early in the season, those are stats games. That's when you start to pat him, and at the end of the year you say, wow, he had a game where he threw 5 touchdowns? Well, yeah, it was against Alabama State. But to me, he has so many questions that are not just on the field, but off the field, and they play a tough schedule, and a lot of what he did. Last year's Heisman race was bad. I mean, that was a bad Heisman race.
It kind of fell apart,
It was a mess, and when we look back, and I don't know what he's going to do in the NFL, I'm skeptical of that, but that race is not going to be one of the great in history where say, Manziel just narrowly beat out Manti Te'o. He had such a great year. I think that he, in a lot of ways, won in a bad year, and this year there's a lot of great competition.
Yeah, and these guys that come off the pace you don't know. Georgia's quarterback, in any SEC school or any team that is undefeated, because of if they're in a major conference with a schedule that people respect, Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, it's a minimum requirement if he thinks he's going to win the Heisman, for them to go 12-0. 11-1, even with big stats, I frankly don't think gets there.
Because that's the reason to pick him apart. Like you said, that's what people want to do. I think he's going to be in that conversation all year, but then there will be somebody from Oregon that factors into it. There will be a running back from Wisconsin that factors into it. There's always these programs that pile up stats in a certain area, the offense that's high powered, that will get in there. I still, on Clowney, I'm not sold that a defensive guy is going to.
Defensive lineman, very tough to win.
If a defensive guy is going to win it, it's going to be a highlight defensive guy like Charles Woodson. When he won it, he did some offensive things.
And even he ran kicks back. I mean, I don't think Woodson wins it if he doesn't run kicks back and score touchdowns.
Yeah, and to me, Clowney is the best player in college football, but he's not going to put together a resume to win the Heisman, and he's not going to have those he's not going to pop somebody's helmet off every single game. That's kind of the shock and awe of it, and he's going to be double teamed, triple teamed. Everybody knows you have to control him to get your offense to move, so I don't think he's going to even be in that conversation by the end of the year.
Yeah, if he does go helmet popping, you'll move him to the front of that list.
And I don't want anybody to tell him I said that either, because I don't want to get my head popped off.